Hey, what's up guys? Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now we're at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo, Medical Center, and Store again today, and we're going to talk about sexing ball pythons made simple. Now this is not just going to filter in for ball pythons. There's going to be other species that you can do this just as simply, and this same method applies and works. But before we get into that, right there in that bottom corner is our subscriber button. Make sure you hit that, and for those that have, we appreciate you following along week after week after week. Let's get right into this. All right, so we have a ball python here, this beautiful bamboo GHI. Balian's going to have a lesser female over here. So we're going to talk about the simplest method of sexing your ball pythons. When they're really young, doing things like probing can be very risky, okay? If you stick a probe in too far, you can get a false reading because you can pop through the layer, the inner wall in the tail, if it's a female, and cause damage, making it also seem like that it's a male because the probe is going deeper into the tail. Let's talk about this, okay? What we have is we have the vent, or the cloaca, okay? Down inside of the tail there, what would be called the subcaudal scales, is going to either house the hemipenes, or the two snake penises, as it were, or nothing at all, okay? If it's a female, there'll be nothing at all down in there. If you stick a probe in, probe should only go about 3 scales, okay? I'm not going to show probing because this is going to be a much simpler method. If we take, this is a boy, I already know this is a boy, so if I take and I apply a little pressure to the vent, bend the tail slightly back, and then push, there come out the hemipenes. Just that easy. You can see them coming out right there. Let's see if I can get them. There we go. Yep. So there are the hemipenes. Okay? You can see the 2 appendages coming out. And there they are a little bit further. This can be dangerous too because if you press too high, you can actually damage the hemipenes. Okay? So what we do is we go way down the tail and we start pushing way down from below and then push out just like that. Okay? It's called popping. Bailey, let me see the female. Now, the lesser female here real quick, same concept would apply. Press, push, and absolutely nothing at all comes out. No pink appendages, okay? Just that easy. There's also a way in which you can do this to where, let me see that one again. You don't necessarily always have to pop it. You can run your hand down and you can feel a hemipenal pop. You can feel it just drop off, okay? So there's a couple of ways in which you can do that, what's called popping. Go ahead, Bailey, you're good. Go ahead. That's one of the simplest methods of being able to sex your snakes, especially babies, because probing babies, the probes are going to be so small, you can actually damage both the hemipenes in the male and you can damage the inner wall of the female. There's other things like baby boas you can do this, baby reticulated pythons, baby Burmese, because we breed boas and we breed Burms and we sex them all the time. It's easy. Easy to get those hemipenes to push right out. Now, once your snakes get a little bit bigger, it can be a little bit more difficult and you may have to go to a probing method because the hemipenes are longer, the scales, the subcaudal and the ventral scales are harder, and so it can be harder to get those hemipenes to come out or not, okay? But for young ones, just for initial sexing, super easy to do. Probing is just not a good, safe way for those. For one thing, again, like I said, because the probe is just so small that it's not exactly blunt. It can still be a sharp end, even though it is blunted end, it's still kind of sharp, okay? Now, this is Chad. We are the Reptile Rangers here at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. We appreciate you coming along. This has been Sexing Ball Pythons Made Simple, or the simplest way to sex ball pythons, and a couple of other species, all right? A couple of other species can fall into this category. We hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, the bell for notification. Make sure to let us know of other things that you want us to film about. People are writing us in all the time, so we're trying to get caught up on videos. We've been kind of slack on doing videos here recently. We've been spending a lot of time dealing with some stuff inside the zoo and updating the storefront and doing all kinds of different things right there, so we haven't been spending as much time on filming here recently. So we're going to try getting caught up on some of these videos. And again, we appreciate you coming along. Make sure to check us out here at the store. We do have the store storefront, all the pets, all the supplies, all that good stuff, and for those that are looking for your next pet. But we appreciate everybody following along with us week after week after week. We'll either see you here at the zoo or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.